likely the last thoughts of a mother as 300-degree gas seared through her lungs. She died clutching her daughter, both frozen forever in volcanic ash. But she didn't have to die. She had 19 hours to escape. So why did she stay? Welcome to Historonix, where we don't just tell history, we resurrect it. I'm your guide into the darkest, most fascinating corners of our past. And today we're entering a city where time literally stopped. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button now because what you're about to discover will haunt you. This is the story of Pompeii, but not the story you think you know. What if I told you that right now, beneath volcanic soil in southern Italy, frozen in time for nearly 2,000 years, lie the bodies of people who were eating breakfast, embracing their lovers, playing with their children, and running for their lives, all captured in a single catastrophic moment. A mother shielding her children with her body, a dog chained to a post, twisting in agony, a wealthy merchant clutching his gold coins, a couple locked in an eternal embrace. These aren't sculptures, these aren't art installations, these are what real people, preserved exactly as they died on August 24th, 79 AD. But here's what will chill you to the bone. In 2018, archaeologists made a discovery that changes everything we thought we knew about that day. Something buried in the ash that suggests the victims saw their death, coming and made a calculated decision to stay anyway. They barricaded themselves inside their homes, they sealed windows with wet cloths. They gathered their families in interior rooms and waited. Were they brave, foolish, or did they know something we don't? I'm about to take you into the most perfectly preserved crime scene in human history. And before this video ends, you'll understand 3 things. 1. Exactly how 2,000 people died in less than 15 minutes. 2. Why some chose to face death rather than flee. And 3. Why this ancient catastrophe is a terrifying warning for 3 million people living in Naples today. If you want to uncover the dark truth about history's most famous disaster, then subscribe to Historonix right now. Because what you're about to witness will change how you see ancient history and modern risk forever. Let's descend into the lost world of Pompeii and discover why the dead are still trying to warn us. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine it's a warm summer morning in 79 AD. The Bay of Naples sparkles under the Mediterranean sun. In the bustling Roman city of Pompeii, bakeries are already filling the streets with the aroma of fresh bread. Merchants are setting up their stalls in the forum. Gladiators are training in the amphitheater. Children are laughing as they chase each other through narrow streets lined with colorful frescoes. Wealthy Romans are reclining in their villas, being served wine and delicacies by their household slaves. This is Pompeii at its peak, a city of approximately 15,000 to 20,000 inhabitants, a thriving commercial hub, a playground for Rome's elite, a city that had already survived a massive earthquake just 17 years earlier and rebuilt itself stronger than before. But looming over this paradise, silent and seemingly dormant, stands Mount Vesuvius, the mountain that the Romans didn't even know was a volcano. They called it the Fertile Mountain because of the rich volcanic soil that produced exceptional wine grapes. The citizens of Pompeii had no word for volcano in their language, no concept that mountains could explode, no understanding that they were living in the shadow of one of the most dangerous geological formations in Europe. And in less than 24 hours, every single person I just described to you would be dead, buried, or running for their lives. But this isn't just a story about a natural disaster. This is a story about what happens when we ignore the warnings, about the incredible preservation of a moment in time, and about the dark secrets that emerged when we finally uncovered this lost world. Here's what most people don't know. Pompeii didn't die without warning. For several days before the eruption, the earth had been trembling. Small earthquakes rattled the city, nothing unusual for this region, but more frequent than normal. Some wells and springs mysteriously dried up overnight. Animals were behaving strangely, dogs were barking incessantly, and birds had abandoned their nests. The Roman historian Pliny the Younger, who witnessed the eruption from across the bay, later wrote that these signs were noticed but dismissed. After all, Pompeii sat in a seismically active region. Tremors were as common as market days. But modern volcanologists studying Vesuvius have made a disturbing discovery. The earthquakes in the days before August 24th weren't random. They followed a precise pattern that today would trigger immediate evacuation orders. The mountain was literally screaming its intentions, so why didn't people leave? The answer reveals something profound about human nature. The Pompeians had invested everything in this city. Their homes, their businesses, their entire lives were built here. The wealthy had luxurious villas with running water, an extraordinary luxury in the ancient world. Merchants had established trade networks. Families had lived here for generations. Additionally, just 17 years earlier, in 62 AD, a massive earthquake had devastated the city. But Pompeii survived. They rebuilt. They adapted. This created what psychologists today call normalcy bias, when people underestimate the possibility of disaster because nothing terrible has happened before, or because they've survived previous threats. The Pompeians had survived one disaster. Surely they could weather another round of tremors. This would prove to be a fatal miscalculation. August 24th, 79 AD, around 1 p.m. The earth gives one final, violent shudder, and then Vesuvius explodes. But this wasn't a river of lava flowing down the mountain like you might imagine. What emerged from Vesuvius was something far more deadly, a column of superheated gas, pumice, and rock fragments that shot 33 kilometers straight into the sky at a velocity of 1.5 million tons per second. To put this in perspective, the eruption of Mount Vesuvius released thermal energy approximately 100,000 times greater than the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki combined. Now, here's where the tactical timeline becomes crucial to understand, because what killed the Pompeians wasn't the initial explosion. It was what came in waves afterward. Phase 1, 1:20 p.m., 8:20 p.m. For the first 7 hours, Vesuvius rained pumice stones down on Pompeii. These lightweight volcanic rocks, some as large as fists, fell like deadly hail. Roofs began to collapse under the weight. The city was plunged into darkness as the ash cloud blocked out the sun. This is when many Pompeians tried to flee. Archaeological evidence shows that about 80% of the population escaped during this window. But 20%, approximately 2,000 to 4,000 people, either couldn't leave or chose to stay behind to protect their property. This decision sealed their fate. Phase 2, midnight, 2 a.m. The eruption column, now reaching its maximum height, became unstable. It began to collapse. And this is when the true killer emerged. Pyroclastic surges. Imagine a superheated avalanche of gas and rock moving at 700 kilometers per hour, with temperatures exceeding 300 degrees Celsius. It's faster than a Formula One race car, it's hotter than boiling water, and it's completely unsurvivable. The first pyroclastic surge hit Pompeii at approximately 1 a.m. on August 25th. Death was instantaneous. The extreme heat caused body fluids to vaporize. Victims' muscles contracted violently, freezing them in the positions they held at the moment of impact, reaching out, covering their faces, embracing loved ones. But here's the detail that still haunts archaeologists. Many of the victims weren't caught trying to escape. They were found in their homes, in interior rooms, huddled together. Which brings us to the twist that changes everything about this story. For centuries, historians believed that Pompeii's victims were caught by surprise, that they died in confusion and chaos. But recent archaeological discoveries have revealed something far more disturbing. They knew they were going to die, and many of them accepted